this thing, and I'm saying, oh man. And I said, don't, I was telling myself, don't look at this, right? Because I don't want, I didn't want to get back into it. And guys, it's difficult. This human sex trafficking thing, to, to work around it is difficult, because you just see how evil people are, and there's real devils here in the world. And so I was glad to flick it off, but it's not leaving, right? It is telling me that you need to pay attention to the human sex trafficking. We need to rescue them along with the rescue, right? And I said to myself when I saw this, do you see it? Do you see, you put these two together, and it's another even more graphic picture of what's happening, right? And you got these monsters, this monster's now involved in it. And it's staring right at me, right? It's staring right at me, or the viewer. And it just freaked me out. I said, yeah, this is supernatural, right? You couldn't paint a picture like this, of this, and then have it come up on this subject, turn it upside down, and it's the same subject in a different area, and then put them all three together, and it's the same subject and even more graphic. So do you see how supernatural that is? You couldn't do that. And I know I didn't, right? I told you how that got painted, right? And I know I didn't turn it upside down and say, okay, put that there, put this here. It's impossible. It's impossible, right? You probably could do it, if you took some time to really, but I'm not doing this for party tricks, right? This thing freaked me out. So I said, why is it telling me now, right? So this was, maybe a year after these things, after I painted it. What's it telling me now? And I was thinking, oh, I need to remind them, because that's what I was doing at the time. I was reminding everyone that we have this rescue that we need to do. Are we doing it? Is anybody, looking to see how they're going to do it? And I think so, right? I think they have to, right? They got to, if they see the opportunity, they can't refuse it. And plus, they're going to need to do it, because we're going to try to clean this world up. And we have to include human sex trafficking as part of the rescue. And this is the my proof that I'm being led, right? I do these auto paints that these things come out. I never painted them. I didn't set out to paint them, and they're germane to what the person I'm doing it for, right? And very rarely, I have a lot that haven't came true, but I haven't ever had one that was, well, I take that back. You never see them. I'll do one, and it doesn't make sense, right? Or so I don't give it to the person, right? I just say I can't find anything. But this one shows me it's supernatural, because I didn't paint that, and it's impossible to paint 3 different pictures, the same subject, in one paint. Do you agree? That's impossible. To make that picture, and that picture all match the scene, right? So when I say God's telling me to tell you, that's what I'm looking at, right? God's telling me, because this is supernatural, right? And a lot of people, when they say that, everyone cringes, like, you talking to God? And I say to them, yes, God talks to us all the time, but we don't recognize it, or even when we do recognize it, we shrug it off. So the next time it happens, then we don't see it. We don't see it. And if you do it in a group, you'll never see it, because you'll talk each other out of it. But here's God telling me, and I say, what is this woman telling me, right? What is she looking at it, right? She's saying we're sick of this, the suffering that happens in this, and guys, it's out of control, right? It is out of control. Imagine this lucrative business that is, shielded by the government, cops, military, it's shielded. So that's why all these kids are missing, and that's why the harlot is still stays in sync, because they're all blackmailed in there. And of course, there are people that and I don't know what percentage, but of course there's people that are into the devil and they do this and they love it, right? But there's a lot of people that do not like it, right? They're compromised, and they're the rank and file leadership that are compromised, and they're making bad decisions because they have to, right? When they say, I'm gonna go, if Donald Trump gets elected, I'm gonna leave the country. Those are the people that are stuck, right? They're being told by the harlot to do that, to mess with Elon, to get out there and say, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this, or I'm against Trump because it's the harlot system that's making him do that. And when you see all these bad decisions happening around, and you say, why did they make that decision? Well, they're compromised. And thank God I had dyslexia, because I would have made it to the top and they would have got me. They would have got me hung a long time ago. But the honeypot, right? People like young teenage girls, right? So you can't say shame on you, man. But these teenagers, they approach these people. They're targeted, and they get compromised, right? I guarantee you, John been looked at, right? He's been looked at to compromise automatically because he's part of the finance, and finance is full of this issue. They get cut all the time. So that's why I think they should donate. Well, the new financial guys aren't like that, right? They're the patriots, and they had to go into a system that was corrupt like that, right? That's why I think Christine Lagarde asked for female leaders. We need more female leaders over here, because it's infested, right? It's a culture that is meant to keep people in line so they can do whatever they want, right? And it's going to end soon. It's going to end when the harlot goes. But we need to get the blackmail off of our officials by ending this trade. And I have a way to do it. And it's controversial. It has to be done outside the government. And I can brief a General Flynn and Donald Trump too. And they'll say, bullshit. We'll hang him by the balls. And I'll say, yeah, but we're ending this, right? We got to end this thing. And when we're ending it, we're going to be in, 1/3 of the government or the population is going to be dead. We're going to be in crisis, and there aren't going to be enough jails to fit all these people in. So we step on it. We rescue the kids, step on the apparatus, and stay there until it doesn't show up again. And a bunch of other things.
I knew that we had desperations will erode government to the point where the United States government will be in worse shape than Argentina or anything ever on the planet. We'll be in worse shape than Somalia by midsummer. And desperation will be the only thing. Because I knew that we had desperations will erode government to the point where the United States government will be in worse shape than Argentina or anything ever on the planet. We'll be in worse shape than Somalia by midsummer. And desperation will be the only thing the populace will know. Now, I lived through that desperation years ago because I lived through this shit 2 years ahead. And so I'm through it. I'm into the optimism phase. So you can believe me, we get through this and there's shit on the other side that's really cool. Anyway, so some colonel somewhere in the Pentagon might even be asked by the pretendency. It may come rolling down and someone says, fuck it, let's do it. Stamps it and off it goes. Or it could be there's a colonel that takes over from the military and runs thing and he's the, titular head of the triumvirate. And he says, okay, boys, we're going to do it. It can't get any worse and it can only get better. In any event, though, the data sets for years have been saying, and I'm saying for years, you can go back, I don't know how many years we've been discussing this, and they're saying that we would have this release of information, and the speed of the change would just be shocking to all of us. But the eruption into the soaring 20s, now I chose that word deliberately, the eruption into the soaring 20s would just be fantastically fast compared to the morass of slogging through this swamp for these last 60 damn years.
Said out of love, inspired to do this, and he saves the world. Dan's like, I've seen this in my dreams. Pollution on the planet, everything. And he uploads this solution to open source on the internet and gives it away. And Dan said, out of love.
What would you say if I walked away? Would you appreciate? But then it'd be too late, 'cause I can only take so much of your grateful ways. Everything is never enough. There's no time.